Hey YouTube, Mochismo Eugene, another video from Exit Strategy. Today I want to talk about when the narcissist puts you on ice. Some things this might mean when they put you on ice. Give me an example of being put on ice by a narcissist. Say you meet a person out and about and you exchange numbers and you either reach out to them or they may text you a text and say, this is Helen, just so you remember my name. Or this is John, we met at the bar. Or this is Tommy, nice to see you, or nice meeting you. Okay. That may be the first and last text you will get, and you may even get a call and they'll some small talk. Who knows, they may talk to you for 5 minutes, they may talk to you for 5 hours. It just depends on the level of supply that you're providing or fuel you're providing to them. But generally they are just reaching out to you to let you know one thing, that they have you on their mind. You not being awakened, or let's say now that you are awakened, these are some signs that generally look normal, is what normal people do. But when they put you on ice, and that is a term I'm using for when they put you on hold, or they put you on red, leave you waiting for them to either answer a call that you reciprocate a few days later or whatnot. They won't answer that phone. They could be sitting right there looking at that phone light up, and they won't answer it. And they get a rise just by knowing that you may blow their phone up, or you may call them after not successfully connecting with them, and you call maybe 5 minutes later or even immediately. They're looking at that phone, they're getting a rise off of that. When you and I, as empath and chosen one, we may be elated that this person wants to talk or engage in conversation again, because this is a part of the getting to know each other phase. And so they will have you on red, they will put you on ice for another reason, because they may be in fact with an additional supply source that they can't break their train of thought, because they're trying to manipulate this person. They don't need any distraction, and so what they will do is get an attitude. You don't never ever know about this, but they may get an attitude within themselves because you interrupted and almost sabotage the fact that they're trying to manipulate this next supply or this other supply, additional supply. They're moving salesmen. I've said this before. They're moving salesmen and traveling salesmen, I meant to say. And they are insatiable. That's a word. They cannot just have one person with insurmountable energy supply for them. That is not enough. They're greedy. They are obese. They're obese. They're psychologically obese demons. And so they walk around, enough is never enough. So they will leave you on red or put you on ice for this reason, that they have another supply that they're working on right now, or they're just sitting there getting supply or fuel off of the fact that they perceive that you are into them way more than they're into you. And so now that they notice, they don't have to answer that phone. They can hold stalemate with you until the cows come home. You, on the other hand, your mind begins to race because the ball is in their court. Your mind is racing like, man, you're reflecting on the interaction you had with them, and you're saying in your mind, wow, this girl was so bubbly. She just seemed like she was into me. This guy just seemed like, oh man, it just seemed like he really do like me. And for the life of you, they're not answering that phone. And let me see, there's a lot of reasons why they do this. and none of which make any sense logically. But as I said before, normal people have lives. We're busy. We might have missed a call. It happens. But you, as the awakened empath, you now almost can sense, more than sense, you can see through walls. Your intuition tells you, because if it hasn't told you when you meet them, that they have a big, strong propensity to be that narcissist. Uh, and yet at that point, I don't know why we're still sticking around. But hey, I think a lot of us, like myself, it's a beautiful thing for me to even surmise that a person that I run into may be a narcissist. And I guess you can say I like at some point to see how some of this unfolds, just for the sheer fact that I want the insight of, this is where I began with them, this is where I assessed, this is what I perceived in them. I want to see if these factors play themselves out to a strong degree in the infancy. Now, that's the word, in the infancy. I'm not trying to roll around with them. I'm not trying to actually even have a solid interaction with them for a second time. It is just these residual things on the outside, that these moving parts that are happening around, like I just spoke of, like the not calling you. And then when they miss the call, which normal people will miss a call, we're busy. What a normal person or a healthy person will tend to do, they will shoot you a text, or they may reach back out to you in a timely fashion. And if they don't reach out to you in like 3, 4, 5 days, they may say, I had a very big emergency. And this is what a narcissist loves to do. They'll say, I had an emergency. And then they'll attribute that ghosting you to a family member fell ill. Now, when you meet them, they will talk about themselves more so than any family member. And if you remember some of the conversation, it doesn't sound like they have a wholesome relationship with their family. They have a sob story. They're giving you a lie a mile a minute, playing victim. And all of a sudden, they're just the savior now. They had to just drop everything they were doing and go take care and see about this person. And it's so superficial what they will tell you. They'll say, I had a loved one. They in the hospital. They were diagnosed with something. I don't want to name things because, I don't want to don't need to trigger anybody. So, they're in the hospital with something, and they will tell you this, but you'll notice even in the phone conversation, they will shift gears from that. Even in their voice, you don't sense authenticity. You don't sense a true, honest concern that they have for this person that they're speaking of. It's basically just some stuff they shooting your way to see how you're going to react to it. And actuality, they're looking for you to have a response of empathy. And again, they're garnering fuel supply for this. Now, a lot of people may say, you know what, that's just surmising what a person is doing when you don't have tangible proof or evidence. I'm trying to tell you something. Me as an empath and a chosen one, I've always had a small intuition that I couldn't put my finger on. I've always had the ability to think the way that I do. I just didn't recognize it to the point where I knew that it was something not to shun or not to get off the gas pedal on. It is something I was supposed to nurture. It was something I was supposed to water. It was something I was supposed to take a concentrated interest in. And now that I'm doing that, I can see through walls. That's a terminology you will always hear me speak, because I'm adopting that as just a form of expressing what I'm really talking about. You're able to see through walls, empaths. You have the same superpower as Superman. You are the kryptonite that weakens the narcissist. You've heard people say it before. You're the heroine and the narcissist is the addict. They need you. You don't need them. All your unhealed wounds that you're working on now, you don't have to rely on them to assist you in that. Empaths and chosen ones, we can introspect. That is something that the narcissist probably can't even spell. And when you make it make sense to them and you give them and inform them of what that really means, you will see on their face that that is something does not interest them. Nor a lot of us empaths and chosen ones that are not fully awake will tend to run towards healing of sorts to some degree, but when it gets a little bit dicey, and start opening up some childhood wounds, we have to revisit some stuff. We tend to, we'll back away for either a momentary period, or we may back away for an unspecified amount of time, but we should always relish the fact that we're able to introspect, and there's nothing to shun away from. But if it becomes very uncomfortable for you, try to work through it, because if we don't work on that aspect of our life, the introspecting, facing those childhood injuries and traumas that we may have now discovered that were actually traumas, and by label, that's what they are. We looked over them, we let them go, we let them fly, but now we're realizing that they were very much a big part of what impacted our life as we grew up to be adults. And it'll come back to you. It'll just come back to visit you, and as you're healing, you'll begin to say, wow, I didn't think about that thing I went through when I was a child, but I can see now as an adult, this is in direct relationship to how a narcissist comes in and manipulate and masters our emotions for their benefit. So that is a big part of how they will put you on ice when you meet them. And obviously they'll give you their story, like they did everything. They parted the Red Sea for this person, and they didn't get no thank you, no gratitude, but they'll in turn say, but they live in a house. We living in separate bedrooms, and we hate each other. I had one tell me that recently. We hate each other. We can't stand each other. And they would say, well, we're just there because the kids, we don't want them to hate me or him if I throw him out. And it goes on and on and on. And then when we buy into that situation, we pretty much signed in on something that they have given us as a half truth, which is a whole lie. They have just figured one another out, and they know neither one of them ain't no damn good. One of the other ones is no damn good, but at the same time can't stand each other, but they don't want to be apart because they want to stay in each other's lives to rent space in their head, and they don't want to allow that person to move on and continue to flourish. So those are it's a multiple array of reasons why these people will continue to put you on ice, and they'll go on living their little life while you're suffering, wondering why they haven't reached back out to you, why you're living in the same house, and you become okay with these types of things, and it becomes just a normal way of life, and you're deprived of your full potential because this person blocking traffic. They won't let you flow. They won't let you just go your merry way. And so that being put on ice part is a big fundamental approach to how a narcissist will come in, pretend like they are all about you, like they care about you, like they're feeling your energy. They want to link up and do some stuff, and possibly work towards some kind of work relationship, but you soon find out just something just amiss. Something is just out of place, and that's what it is. They're putting you on ice because you're just one more fuel supply that they've added to their list. And so it's like going out doing errands for a narcissist. When they go about getting these supplies, these various supplies, they are on an errand like you would go get gas to your car, milk, go to the grocery store, go pay a few bills. If you're not doing them online, you're going in to pay a few bills. You're stopping at the flower shop. This is what they do. And oftentimes they'll go out in these places I just named and they won't buy anything but a piece of bubble gum. They'll stay in that store 2 hours, which healthy people do that too. Just somewhere to go to hang out, either from the weather or just from being cooped up in the house. They mimic normal, healthy people's behavior. This is why it's so subtle and it's so easy for them to blend in among people who are progressively trying to live a good life and incorporate other people in that. They are just destructive people. They'll take your good character and they'll diminish it in 5 seconds flat. I got a call from the state unemployment department today. They literally asked me a line of questions for about 3 minutes as to why I got terminated. And in full disclosure, I told them sexual harassment allegations, to which they wasn't proven one way or the other. It was just alleged some people, one woman, and then it became 2, 3, 4, whatever, began to say whatever they said. They didn't repeat to me what a couple of things they said, that I had mentioned some statements and made some statements. And I just let him know that, that HR was very, very much partial in her entry of the introduction of the investigation. And as it went on, they began to show me that they were, I was guilty before I was even, before she even investigated. So I have to get a call back from them. And the reason why I mention this, because I've been out of work for 4 months. I haven't received not one unemployment check. So I have been surviving. I'm not complaining at all. So I'll give you guys updates on that. But remember the video I just mentioned about how the narcissist puts you on ice. And this is some of the things that they will do. In the meantime, guys, bless.